Hello, welcome. Liverpool Football Club, 20 times league champions. I'm not going to have this. Only 2 Premier Leagues, 2 in 35 years. You've only won 2. You don't have enough. You've only won. I'm not playing that game. It's 20 times, 20 times. The second team in England that can sing that after Manchester United, who had this held for far too long. But let's not talk about that club battling in the lower half of the table, also going to a Europa League semi-final. This is about Liverpool, 20-time Premier League champions. It's mad. I know we experienced this 5 years ago under different circumstances. This time, though, it does feel like it wasn't like us going to the European final in 2005 where Anfield was just ablaze after how many, since like the late 80s, like a couple of decades or something. This was more. This was definitely more. An absolute madness at Anfield after the game. And look, it's deserved. Consistent throughout the whole season. Consistent in every way, shape, and form. We've seen the first 16, the second 16, or whatever it is. You've seen Liverpool have just been consistent. Same amount of clean sheets, same amount of points, give or take one extra goal here, one less goal there, everything else equal. So you can't say Liverpool have not been deserving. I think that's a false narrative if people want to run that. However, Liverpool are 2024-2025 Premier League champions. A 5-1 win at home against Tottenham Hotspur sealed the deal after going a goal behind, but nonetheless, home celebrations thereafter. Goals from Diaz. We had McAllister with another rocket. We had Gakpo whipping one in as well. Salah getting himself a goal at Anfield, taking that selfie pose that had like millions of impressions or likes, I think, in a matter of hours. Absolutely insane. Very reminiscent. Now, I'm not linking these two players together, even though they are very good players in their own rights, but very reminiscent and similar to that Messi photo of him holding the World Cup. That shit went viral like wildfire online. I remember that from a couple of years ago. But the selfie and then the own goal from Udogie, and the game finishes 5-1, Liverpool Premier League champions. And Arsenal does look like they're going to get second place again, ole ole, and they do have a UCL semi-final and potentially final on their mind, so we say, cool, fair enough. That's their bigger fish to fry. 20 times league champions, Liverpool FC, equal with Manchester United, equal 20 league titles, but we have 6 Champions Leagues, 10 League Cups and 8 FA Cups, if I'm not mistaken. That could be incorrect, so someone correct me in the comments down below. Plus the rest, including the Club World Cup and you know, the extra bits and pieces and all those other things that we have as well, Europa Leagues, etc. So we are now the most successful club in England. Undisputed. We were disregarded, now undisputed, and we do have more receipts. We do have some receipts to look out for later on in this video here. the Sir Alex Ferguson stronghold that was on at Manchester United. Now, it's not going to be forgotten. What has happened in history, you cannot disregard. You still pay your respects. Sir Alex Ferguson is a legendary manager in his own right for what he did at Aberdeen before coming to Manchester United, doing all the work that he did there. And look, the man was, the Premier League for, the late 90s, 2000s, alongside Arsenal, Chelsea in the mix here and there as well, before Man City took over in the 2010s, and Chelsea still floating about there. You cannot disregard what he has achieved. However, the thing that Manchester United had over everybody else is their 20 league titles. Well, Liverpool got their 19th some years ago, and now we have our 20th. So now we also can sing 20 times. And it's not like there's anything else left for United fans. Man City did the treble a couple of years ago as well. So the treble went, which it was only Manchester United that did that. And now also the league's gone as well. So unfortunately for them, now they have to start looking and trying to rebuild themselves to become the club that they once were some 15, 20 years ago. Some would even push it, to say 25. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think the last 20, like from the mid-2000s, definitely, it's been a big drop for Manchester United. Even though they're still winning trophies, they're not the levels of where they once were. So they have a bit of work to do there. But Mohamed Salah's Premier League legacy, there was a lot of talk. Could he break Henry's 2020 season? Could he be the outright best player in Premier League history, shall we say? I know Henry gets that title there, that honour, and it's understandably so. You can understand why. But that's his second Premier League title now with Liverpool. His third in England, if you count the one that he had with Chelsea when they beat us to it in the when City beat us in the 13-14 season, but Chelsea were contributors to that. If I'm not mistaken, City ended up winning that title. Yep. Bloody hell, absolutely painful. And, equaled Henry's and Hazard's Premier Leagues, 2 each with the same club. So what now for those who bigged up Eden Hazard? And we're not doing comparisons in terms of skill and whatnot. I think people will say Hazard is a better dribbler of the ball. There's no denying that he was a great player. But what Salah is doing right now is something to behold. An all-timer season at the age of 32, 33. He is still bagging goals in there. He's still getting the assists. Hopefully he gets a couple more assists in the next 4 games and breaks Henry's record. And he is close to getting that 2020. Just needs 2 more assists. If any one of our players in the midfield, forward line, in the defense can get onto the end of a Salah cross or an assist, maybe that will happen. We will have to wait and see. And of course, the Champions League as with Liverpool Football Club, that also is a nice little one there as well. Obviously, Hazard got his in, was it 2019? I think it was when, was it 21, 22? When was it? When did he leave? I think he's got a Champions League. I can't remember. I don't follow Chelsea that well. I mean, Eden Hazard, caught whatever. This is about Liverpool. I don't know why I'm going on about this that much. But yeah, Salah, Premier League legacy, definitely has to be up there now. No questions about it. 2 Premier Leagues, 3 if you include Chelsea's, as I mentioned there. All the goals, I think, is 5th all time or something like that now. He's up in the Liverpool spots as well. Mo Salah, Premier League, Liverpool legend, 100%. Have to mention Jurgen Klopp, though. Jurgen did say that we'll be fine, and he knew all along, some will say. Even though he left us, he did leave us in a position where we had the tools to get the job done, and he was certain of that, whereas I think some others, including myself, were maybe skeptical or maybe a little bit apprehensive to say, yes, this is something definitely that we can do. But nonetheless, Jurgen gave us the foundations, obviously got us our number 19th after so many years, got us to Champions League as well after losing the year before, got us to another one. I did a post on the community page on my tab. If you want to go read that over, it's probably worth putting into the video as well at some point maybe. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp definitely has to be praised in all this. And Arne Slot did praise him in those post-match celebrations, the interview. And let's not forget what they were saying about Arne Slot before the season started. He's just another Ten Hag. Who cares about the Dutch league? Nobody takes that seriously. But FSG and their team scouted someone who could replace someone irreplaceable, it may seem, at least in this moment in time, in this situation, as Jurgen Klopp would once say. Slot took over and he didn't overhaul the squad, didn't tear everything down, just continued the way we played, made his little tweaks here and there, and carried on with what was already established. Jurgen got us our first in 30 years, and Slot got us our second in 5 years, and our 20th all up, so both are legends in their own rights. And look, it does have to be said that nobody gave us a shout at the start of the season. We're finishing outside the top 6, Slot's going to be sacked, the players will leave, the squad is crap, it's aging, we heard it all, and now they're all praising us. Fair enough, Liverpool, well-deserved Premier League champions, the best team all season, when just the other day they were saying like nobody cares about Liverpool's win. Obviously, the rage baiters out there, the misery merchants will definitely be still saying that, and some are, and there is a video on that coming up as well, because everyone loves a bit of a cooking of rivals when they cope and seethe. It just so happens that it's Arsenal and Manchester United fans, and also Man City in some aspects there. But we heard it all. Well, we proved them wrong. And it goes to show that we did have a great team worthy of winning the league. And some may say it's one we should have won under Klopp because we came close so many times, finishing second by a point. I'll say first like one. To Man City on 2 occasions. Arguably, it should have had one of those ourselves. Maybe this is the delayed one, or maybe this is something completely new that Arne Slot is going to continue on here. It's going to be difficult to try and retain it next season with Man City and Arsenal still there and trying to do their bits, and Arsenal will be even more eager now to try and make do and get through to the pinnacle and finish first, but there is something to look forward to, I suppose, in another run. Of course, if we sign, 3-4 players that we need to, some will go. We'll need to sign some others in there. You never know. It could be a good title race next season, but we're not finished just yet with this one here. Let's do that talking in the summer when the transfer windows are open there. And there are those who believe we will drop next season. But as I said, for now, this is ours. We are here, number 20 Premier League champions. Now, with that being said, a league title is a league title, okay? Rivals and other fans can cope and seethe all they want. The league is the main event in England. It always has been. I've seen people trying to rage bait. I've seen them trying to downplay the achievements of Liverpool this season. And it just goes to show how sad and pathetic fans are trying to minimise winning a league because they are hurting due to their own teams and clubs' failures in this season here. Their respective clubs were not good enough. For whatever reason, any excuse they want to throw in there, any excuse they want to put forward to this, is still not good enough. This win should only matter to Liverpool fans. You've seen the tweets, you've seen videos of Liverpool are winning the league today, nobody cares. Liverpool are winning the league, number 20, and nobody could be heard cheering or celebrating. Nobody. It matters to Liverpool fans. That's who it matters to. Ultimately, that is who it matters to. The excuses. Worst ever Premier League season. Worst champions ever. It's only your second Premier League, as mentioned earlier on there. Oh, it's a PGML title. The referees handed it to you. You should be celebrating with David Coote and Howard Webb. Oh, but injuries and suspensions for our team. If we had this player fit, if we didn't have this player suspended, that's got nothing to do with us. That's not our problem. That's your problem. You guys need to rethink the way you play your games and how your disciplinary record stands. Nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us at all. Using excuses like PGMOL, referees and injuries is piss weak, and it just shows the Royal fans can't take accountability for their own failures and issues at their own respective clubs. It's a madness. But the copium does hit hard, as they say. Now, with that being said, Liverpool champions again, ole ole, 20-time Premier League champions, 20 league titles in England for Liverpool FC. The bread and butter of Liverpool FC is bread and butter again. We have 4 games left. We've got Chelsea away next, and they're chasing a top 4 finish. So they'll be out to try and cement themselves in those positions there. Arsenal then have to come to Anfield, and there was talk about whether the league would be won at Anfield. Arsenal fans were saying, oh, just like 89, we're going to win it there again, etc., etc. They could not capitalize when they had opportunities. We did our business. When we faltered, they also faltered. If they faltered, we would step up. We would make do. Yes, we lost a couple of games. We drew some games here and there. Obviously, Nottingham Forest, that was a shock result. The Everton draw, some will say under controversial circumstances. Of course, going away to Fulham as well, them beating us, we were just not good. Newcastle with the draw over there as well, with the Keller howler, it has to be said. And there will be some praise for players at the end of this. Don't get me wrong, we are going to look at the players as well. Don't forget the players. But yeah, things could have been different. We could have had Arsenal in a title decider, but we were just too bloody good for them. But they will most likely have to give us a round of applause or acknowledge their champions. And for the second time for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal FC, they will give a round of applause to Liverpool Football Club on their Premier League victory. So we're looking forward to that. But they do have PSG in the UCL semi-finals in between as well. So we'll see how that one plays out. After that, we go away to Brighton, who are also looking for a European finish, depending on what happens with them. And then May 25th, a fitting day for a trophy lift for Liverpool FC. If you know, you know. In front of a packed Anfield. Then the parade in the coming days. Hopefully it's a win, of course, against Crystal Palace. And after them saying congratulations on, you're welcome, Liverpool, after their draw with Arsenal, some may say now they've made up for what they did to us in 13-14, where we were 3-1 up and then they ended up scoring 2 goals, Gal and Jedinak, and that ended up basically being the catalyst to why we locked out of our season there. The Suarez tears at the end of it, Gerrard pushing the camera away and all that. So, all is forgiven. Hopefully they go on and win the FA Cup final against Manchester City. But again, that's for another conversation here. So the players, you have to give credit to the players now. The players themselves. Alisson was missing for chunks of the season as well. When he was gone, Kelleher stepped in. Kelleher was fantastic. Apart from a couple of situations here and there, especially that Newcastle away game, where if he just caught the ball, we would have had 3 points in the bag. It would not have finished 3-3, but we won the league, so you can say, okay, I forgive you now. But Alisson and Kelleher as goalkeepers were fantastic. Kelleher's situation now unknown. Maybe he leaves, goes to another club to play first-team football. Maradashvili comes in. Alisson probably stay for another season or two, and then we'll see what happens. Jarosh is also waiting in the wings there. Robertson, Trent, sticky situation with Trent. He's saying for the city, for the fans. Now, I don't know what to believe with this guy. Robertson's had his moments as well. Van Dijk, the captain, the Colossus. Everyone takes the piss saying he defends with aura. But when we have needed him, he has been there. You can't argue with that. Kanate next to him as well. Fantastic. Hopefully he gets a new deal there. Also had some shaky moments, but we got through them. Kwanzaa from the first game of the season, where he was getting put under pressure when Slot made the sub at half-time against Ipswich and he brought on Kanate. You could see that Slot was not afraid to change things when they needed to be changed. So give me your fair dues there. Gomez as well, another Premier League title for him. An unsung hero of Liverpool Football Club, in my opinion there. Of course, you can't forget Tsimikas, Bradley. They've had their issues as well, jumping in wherever they could. Good to see them. Gravenberch emerging as a standout player. We all thought, where are we going to get a DM from? We need a DM. We're not getting a DM. Don't worry, we have a DM at home. There is Ryan Gravenberch doing his thing. So he's been consistent throughout the whole season. Maybe haven't seen him do his runs and do all the fancy stuff that he has been doing. But still, he's been solid. McAllister, arguably our most industrious midfielder. Some will say Szoboszlai, he runs around a lot, he does the press and all of that. And he got 2 assists against Tottenham. So, you can give him some credit there, I suppose. But again, still young players. They're only in their early to mid-20s, so they've still got years ahead of them. But McAllister, fantastic baller. Can't believe we got him for as little as we did from Brighton. I think they don't want to deal with us anymore after that. Szoboszlai again, great start last season, fell off this season. He's been hit and miss, been very important in some games, fell off again in some other games, but he has been there when we've needed him to be. Curtis Jones on and off the bench, scoring some vital goals for us, obviously against Chelsea, that one at home there, and breaking up the fight at Everton in the derby, getting himself sent off for it. I think fair. I think he earned that red card, to be honest with you. Harvey Elliott as well, riling up Richarlison yesterday, doing the 3-0 type thing, like those sorts of things. And hopefully they stick around for a while to come. Hopefully they do. Endo, Wataru Endgame, the finisher, as some have dubbed him. maybe wasn't seen as a favourite this season to play games, even though he was, played by Klopp last season, but still he did what he had to do. Wataru Endo, he leaves as a Premier League champion. If he does leave, if he stays on, cool, keep him on there. We went from looking for Enzo Fernandez to Wataru Endo being a Premier League champion. It's absolutely crazy. Actually insane the way we've done these things. When you also look at other players in the midfield as well, when you look at people jumping in here and there, I mean, you can say, who have we played? You can say maybe even if, like, Jota is not a midfielder, but he has dropped down deep before in some places as well like that. You can say Gakpo's maybe filled in a midfield sort of role, but I do think that there is something to be said in the way we've actually played our games and the way we've actually, contributed and done what we've needed to do. And I think it just goes to show that this team is it. This team is it. Gakpo doing his bits and pieces. Darwin Nunez here and there, touch and go. He's probably going to leave at the end of the season. I mean, had opportunity to score a goal yesterday and maybe should have had a shot, but he squared it off to Salah and overcooked the pass. Jota has given us vital goals as well when we've needed it. I mean, obviously against Nottingham Forest, Jota and Tsimikas off the bench. First touch for Tsimikas with the corner. First touch for Jota with the header, scoring the goal. To get us back in the game against Fulham at home. We were down to 10 men, getting us the goal in the Merseyside derby against Everton as well with that the 1-0 there. So he's pulled up with some important games there as well. And look, everyone's played their part. I don't believe this notion that Liverpool only won the league because of Mo Salah. Like I don't believe that is the case there. I really don't believe that is the case. In saying that, though, you probably do have to maybe say that Salah has been a massive part, but it hasn't been the sole part, because Salah scores the goals, yes, but the midfield still needs to work. The defense still needs to defend. We have 14 clean sheets in the league this season so far. I believe it's the most across all teams, if I'm not mistaken. That could be incorrect. So there are components to it. Has Salah been the most important? Maybe you can say yes. But he hasn't been the only important. Everyone has a role to play in this. And of course, the staff, obviously the medical staff, for keeping everybody fit for the whole season. Slot coming in with that 94% record of keeping his players fit for a majority of the season whilst at Feyenoord. And it just goes to show, when you have a manager there who knows how to manage players, takes off players when they need to be taken off, rotates when he needs to, rests players when he needs to, things can happen. You won't overcook your players. They won't be out with torn hamstrings or buckled knees, for example. Yes, freak accidents happen. We all acknowledge that. But when they're caused from overworking, from fatigue, from overexertion, I think that's when you can say maybe management needs to pull back a little bit and say, okay, you're doing it a bit too much. Don't do what you're doing. And that's why Salah has maybe been the player he is now, because he's not being asked to defend. He's not being asked to run up and down the wings. You stay there, receive the ball, do your thing, try and get a shot off target, square it up for somebody else, making a run through. Bob's your uncle. There you go. Again, Salah could be on 25 assists right now if we had players that could finish. Of course, Diaz getting himself his goal as well. Got to mention Lucho. Last season had a very difficult period with his old man. This season as well hasn't really been the same Luis Diaz that we saw when he came through in the 22-23 season, whatever it was, but he's still been solid. He has still been here doing his thing, getting some results here and some goals here and there, some assists here and there as well. And look, everyone should be commended. Everyone should really be proud of themselves. Arne Slot as well, his whole team, FSG, as much as we want to shit on them, still appointing him, it's been great all around, and you got to give credit where credit is due. So that's pretty much all I've got there for my post win. And as I said, 4 games left. Let's just see what happens for the rest of the season here. There are still some big games to play externally from Liverpool FC, but not here to discuss those things right now. So if you've enjoyed the last 20 minutes, big ups to you. And if you have, I would appreciate if you like this video. Drop a subscription if you're new. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. Liverpool FC 20 times. League champions. An amazing achievement. Don't ever let anybody tell you it's only the Premier League, because that's only the thing every single team that's in the Premier League aims to win every single season. Even though some say we just want to remain in the Premier League, still, you're in the Premier League because Not just it gives you a lot of money for where you finish, or there's big revenues coming through TV deals, but because that title is not very easy to win. The last 8, 9 Premier Leagues, whoever it's been, since Chelsea won it in 16-17, it's been all City and Liverpool. Liverpool, the only team to have stopped City from winning a title every single, well, they've done the four-peat, but yeah, every single year consecutively, Liverpool have done that twice. Now we'll see what happens. Anyways, look out for the other video with the receipts. I'll see you on the next one.
End the stream, Dave! End the stream!